Welcome to the grand city of Umber. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Rise of Mordor online battle. Today we are taking a look at one of the brand new maps. This is, I think, the largest map to date to come out in Rise of Mordor, and it will be coming out with the new update. And I mean, my god, just take a look at the map itself. It is absolutely humongous, and we're going to have one hell of a battle on this one. As you can see, the battle is 60 minutes long, so that's going to be absolutely crazy as the forces fight back and forth. We're also using the submod, so we have a faction like Umber and Eriador who are also going to be fighting. So again, we'll look at that in a second, but first things first, I want to take a look at this glorious map. I think it was worked on by a couple of the map modders, so big shout out to them, and obviously a massive thank you for sending in this replay. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I can't wait to see how this map plays, as it's going to be really fun. So we'll start off. Obviously, Umber is well known for it being a trading city, so we have access to this port. We have a nice little wall out here defending kind of any of the entrances, and it also looks like there's kind of already been a small naval battle out here. I imagine maybe once there are naval units added into Rise of Mordor, we will kind of get more access to an ability to kind of like siege and kind of actually do naval landings, but obviously right now there aren't any ships in Rise of Mordor, so we can't really expect that, and that's why the map hasn't really been designed for it. But yeah, you can definitely get like a Carthaginian feel from this. You know, you've got naval ships coming in and also the land force that maybe landed further on along the river. So yes, we have this kind of little outplace right here with an awesome overlooking statue as well, looking down upon the port itself. Very nice indeed. And then as we come around to the main assault, obviously you have the inner harbour right here as well. As we go to the main wall itself, we can see that we have two sets of walls. We have one outer wall which kind of goes from the mountains, or the hilly mountains, they're not really mountains, but from the hills all the way across the settlement itself. You know, and it's a pretty long assault which you can go ahead and attack from, with some minor villages and farmlands out here, which is something I always love to see. A little bit more, you know, kind of flavor outside the settlement, not just inside the settlement. I think that looks really cool. Also, I noticed a penis-shaped rock right here as well, but we won't mention too much about that. So we have this outer wall right here. We also have an inner wall, which I think is a really kind of cool design. Instead of just an inner wall going all the way along the defensive wall, kind of just acting as a second wall, it's just kind of like a small partition right here, but it provides such a great position for the defenders as the attackers make their way onto that outer wall. These archers can just pepper them. They're going to be undefended, coming off of that off of the siege towers and just being hammered by the Harad bowmen up there, which is going to be cool. Also, obviously, it acts as a place to pin in the defenders. If they kind of try and make their way down any of these towers, they're going to find themselves kind of in a killing zone pretty goddamn quickly. And that's kind of how these buildings are designed. There's quite a few choke points that the defenders can take command of in this like wall of houses and buildings, which they can, yeah, there's a lot of choke points they can kind of seize the advantage for, especially if you make your way through this gate. You're going to find yourself, you know, in a pretty tight corridor that can hurt you, and I think really the main goal will be to be taking out this gate, then making your way up onto the walls and kind of using this as a transport to kind of support your other men, because yeah, you can already see the defenders have set up a pretty nice defense throughout the settlement. So that's going to be kind of the outer layer. You also have a really cool little barracks up here, which is going to be a capture point, which, you know, the defenders can give up or decide to take to go ahead and help that morale. And it seems like the first artillery shots are coming in, so I'll kind of wrap up this. We haven't really got that much more to look at. So we then have kind of the inner keep. This is going to be the last stand. There is one path up through this way, which is pretty easy to get to, and obviously making your way up there. Oh, it seems like there's a little bit of an issue right here, but I'm assuming that will be fixed. Yeah, and you have some towers protecting it as well. So a very nice defensive position for the defenders, obviously only one way coming up. And they obviously also have the ability to shoot archers at their opponents here as well and just hammer them as they make their way forward. Then we have this really cool aqueducts going up throughout the settlement, and then you have kind of the main entrance into the inner layer right here, where you can just go up this path, and I'm assuming there's going to be lots of fighting on either side of these as you get further and further up, and then you finally get into the final layer. And again, it looks so awesome. I love the keep. It looks amazing. I was kind of surprised that there's no like third entrance up here. I was kind of half expecting there to be like another entrance up here, but this is kind of more for show than I guess gameplay. And I guess you can actually come up here as well. Oh yeah, so this wasn't added. I looked at this map a while ago and this wasn't actually added, so this is exactly what I'm saying. There's another access up here just giving free, and I think that's really, really cool to have this third choke point coming up into the inner set layer. I think it's needed, you know, the attackers have to go a little bit further around, but they can get another, you know, unit in, and I love the way that it's kind of implemented with the aqueducts itself. So cool, that's going to be the map. I mean, it looks amazing. Big shout out to the modders working hard on this. I think Lolwat was kind of the main guy working on this. So yeah, just big shout out to everyone who spent time on this. It's an amazing map. It's a huge one, and I can't wait to see how it does play out. So yeah, sorry, that was kind of a long intro, but obviously, you know, I wanted to show off the map in all of its glory, and it kind of just fits us perfectly into the battle. So the factions defending this, we are using the sub mod, so you'll be seeing a handful of new units added into this from the sub mod, but we have the forces of Harad and we have the forces of the Easterlings. Harad are going to be obviously sick with a lot of their southern archers, a lot of their infantry like this, which do come kind of from more of the elite infantry from the sub mod. And I think there's actually a bunch of few really big updates coming in for Harad and the Easterlings in the next Rise of Mordor official update, which will be cool to see how they play out. But these are some awesome units from the sub mod. We also obviously have more cavalry back here and infantry. Again, some more forces from Harad, and it's only fair that they are, you know, defending this settlement to the last. More infantry there, more spearmen, and you obviously got some cavalry and stuff like that with these infantry. Oh no, some breaches in the walls already. That's not good. We also have the Eastlings as well. They're going to be using some of their Varai swordsmen and axemen and macemen and hammermen. They're kind of a really aggressive, heavier infantry, and just other units. Then we also have Darmroth on the attacking, so they brought up some archers already, just peppering away the defenders on the walls. Darmroth are obviously going to be sit with a lot of these heavier spearmen and then knights, but obviously pushing forward more of the lighter militia first is always going to be a good idea, as this unit just gets absolutely smashed by the fire arrows, and a ton of these men are getting burnt alive. Oh my god, that is brutal, as they try and get this battering ram to the wall itself. Then we also have Eriador, which is a new faction for the forces in the sub-mod. So Eriador are here. They're kind of like Bree, Dunedain kind of area right here. Kind of a remnants of Arnor. And you can see they've got some really cool looking macemen. I believe there's hobbits in the roster. Not that I think any hobbits have been brought. We have some Bree men-at-arms, some bowmen, and a ton more units. But anyway, let's just dive straight into this one, because it is getting quite close to kicking off and getting pretty crazy. And I say that we actually do have the first men landing onto the walls, and the first engagement already fighting off, as I just turned down that sound a little bit, as it was kind of loud. But yeah, here we go. The infantry are coming flying off. Also, sorry, I hate to do this, but I think it's just a little bit too like dark. Is that going to be better? Sorry, Attila's lighting is just so gross. It really is. I need to try Aztec, the Aztec mod, which changes lighting. But the problem is with the Aztec mod is it's so random. There's no way for me to pick a lighting. With Aztec, it's like every battle could look really good or look really, really bad. Maybe I'll just give it a go, because I remember using it in the past, and it was just a great lighting mod. But anyway, back into the battle. So we have the forces of Eriador. They're going to be coming flying off of this siege tower and trying to make a breach into the wall. But as we said, the problem is, with this making a breach, is you're going to leave yourself very vulnerable to the missiles down here, which, as you can see, are pretty, you know, happy to almost let these walls move up. But obviously, these swordsmen are not going to let that happen. You also have the towers being protected. And there you go, the fire arrows coming in. And this is what I was saying, just such a perfect volley. There's no real defense the other side of this wall, so these swordsmen are going to be getting hit pretty heavily and taking some crazy casualties. Over on the other side, the men of Darmroth have not quite made their way to the walls, but they're just about to. And it looks like they're going to have a much easier time of things up here. Doesn't really seem like the forces of Rune have really committed much up there. They're even just bringing back their archers. It seems like they want to kind of set up more of a killing zone down in the streets themselves, which obviously is not a bad idea if that's exactly what they want to do. They've got their men ready to defend this. Again, looking very, very amazing. Spears, swords, whatever is in that unit, looking deadly as hell. But this does also leave an interesting strategy that could obviously fire off. We could quite quickly get the forces of Darmroth just to charge down this wall, ignore this section, and just go and sport out their brothers. But saying that, the forces of Harad are quickly going to intercept that idea before it comes to fruition, and they're going to move up on that wall and get ready to hold that line with all glory. And it seems like the forces are struggling to break through for Eriador. Nice little close-up there of the men. You can see men in the distance as well, advancing forward, obviously wanting to get as many men to the front as possible. This is a pretty expensive unit by the looks of it, by the looks of their armor. The Easterlings, oh no, sorry, Harad are committing some heavy infantry to try and just slot these walls. And I think that's a pretty sound strategy, if I'm honest. Because they can utilize their archers, they can utilize the defenses of the wall just to basically hold their opponents at bay. And there you go, the first couple of men are now coming down. But again, they're just met with like really good quality infantry. And the defenders really need to try their best to get archers up onto this wall. They have a handful of archers back here. They actually have a ton of archers. And they need to get them up here. Oh yeah, also, I never looked at Eriador's general either. They're kind of like this really cool like kite shield crossbow unit. They look great. And these helmets, these like kettle helmets, always really remind me of hobbits. I don't know why, they just do. Oh, whoa, he's got some stuff to say. And you also have this really cool halberd unit as well. So I think Eriador look really nice. Really nice. So the siege is kicking off. The gates themselves have now gone down, but they're going to be met by some of these southern heavy spears. So these guys actually have some decent armor on. And again, are holding this wall and the gatehouse. They don't want to give up these towers anytime soon, as they'll be racking up a lot of kills. And it seems like the defense for Harad is holding very nicely. You also have a lot of archers up here as well, which are kind of like cross-firing. Again, I think that's a worthy screenshot right there, as the city itself is just full on getting assaulted. Infantry moving in. There you guys, they just brace for another volley as they continue to pepper down. So right now we have the attackers going all out. And if we take a look at the kills themselves, so obviously this is a 20,000 man battle, which is just more than that, 22,000 man battle, which is obviously absolutely insane. So if you guys are enjoying this, be sure to drop a like and a comment. Obviously this map took them a long time to do, and the battle replay, so let's try and get this video to, I don't know, like 400 likes if you're enjoying this, and you want to see more Rise of Mordor on the channel. There's a handful of more mods I want to take a look at as well, so yeah, plenty of content to come with Rise of Mordor. And there's rumours from the east that a big old update is coming soon, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. So I think for the most part in the battle itself, it seems like Darmroth are the ones having the easier time of it. I say that as they are getting slaughtered by the Easterlings. I mean, it's going to be a hard, obviously, assault. The city is the grand capital, and yeah, they're making their stands right here, not wanting the forces of good to overrun their position. And you've even got the Harads and Easterlings working together up here, supporting the assault against Darmroth. And these are obviously much more of the lightly armoured Darmroth infantry. Darmroth are going to have, you know, their elite squadron back here, which they're going to be pushing up. These are going to be committed with more of their coastal sea guard. And obviously the heavy knights as well. These guys are going to be the dangerous foes. And obviously also these guys who are sitting back. So as you can see, the attackers are committing the main quality of their force back. They're going to be the ones advancing into the city once the walls have been taken, or if they just need that little push through to break the walls once and for all. And you can see there's a few holes that just aren't being exploited. I guess there's nowhere really for this unit to go. But yeah, so they are using these breaches. It's just a very hard assault. And I'm pretty surprised we haven't seen more archers being brought up just to make this a little bit easier, because as you can see, this is a very sturdy defense from the Easterlings. But an easy way to break this would just be to get some archers on the walls. Now that leaves them very vulnerable to incoming missile fire and stuff, but yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing any bowmen being put up on them walls. And oh my god, that guy just getting broken down by that mace being shoved into him. Yeah, and the lighter Darmroth infantry are starting to falter here and there. The archers are still hitting, but I imagine they'd be so much more effective up on this wall. But I guess until they commit their next part of their assault, it's just not going to happen. You got a lot of archers over here. I don't really know what they're shooting. They're shooting it over here. yeah, some decent hits off there. Killing 3 or 4 of these guys per volley is not bad, and that's only going to rack up. Obviously, their main target is going to be these halberds, as they're going to be such a deadly foe to break down. I love one of these units from the submod as well, the Easterling Northern Archers as well. They're kind of more of a nomadic unit. They just look really, really cool. I'm a big fan of that submod unit. So has Area Door started to have any progress? And yeah, they have. They definitely have. Their numbers are coming into play on the walls. And once again, if we just take a look at the battle like this, you can see that they are making pretty good progress. They've managed to envelop this unit. And once this unit is down, it will open up the gatehouse, not the gatehouse, but the stairs down onto the bottom layer like that. And they can obviously launch a greater assault right here. Because normally what tends to happen, and I mentioned this in quite a few sieges, but it's kind of how the sieges play out. As the attacker, you don't want to make 10 million breakthroughs. You want to make that one breakthrough that will lead to all the other breakthroughs. And what I mean by that, all that needs to happen is like one of these positions needs to falter. And then as soon as one of these falters, they can then bring up infantry to help out the other positions. So for example, if they can funnel men through here, they can completely envelop and take control of all the other defensive choke points on this map, and that's just absolutely huge. You know, if they can break through here, they can come in the back and start attacking. That means they don't have to draw more men out, and if they're defending this and that breaks through, they can then envelop every single side. You know, for example as well, they break down here, they break through this unit, they take on all of this, and then they also send men over here. They put pressure on this area, they put pressure, like as you can see, it really starts to crumble the defenders as they lose one or two defensive positions. It seems like they don't want to do that though. They've committed another unit of Serpent Swordsmen up onto the wall and try and push back the defenders. And I must say, these Area Door Swordsmen are doing a very good job. The 3 men at arms, I think they're kind of like mid-tier sword infantry. But considering how much pressure they've been up against, how much swordsmen they've been fighting, how much arrow fire they've been taking, they've been doing a very, very, very good job. I must say so myself. Unfortunately, Dormroth have been struggling though to break through, even with the support of all these archers. The archers have done a very good job at killing these axemen, and there's not really anywhere to hide. I would probably bring them back if I was the defensive player. Obviously, he is busy elsewhere as these arrows are just finding their mark, hit after hit. Maybe they want to use up ammunition. Actually saying that the ammunition for both these archers are now out, so these axes have a lot more of a free time. Oh, look at that as well. We have some unit of arm. I think this militia unit came back from nowhere, and they've actually managed, I think they routed through the defenders, which is so stupid, obviously. But they've managed to actually catch this unit of archers, and this is huge. This unit of archers could have fired off like 6-7 more volleys. And right now the swordsmen, I mean, they managed to repel them, but they lost 6 archers. That's 6 less bows they have at their disposal. Oh, and Dormroth are going in for it now. They are bringing up their second wave. This is going to consist of 2 units of coastal skirmishers and 4 units of their coastal sea watch. Pretty deadly stuff. And they're going to be using mainly their javelins first. And this is a really good idea. They've kind of launched their first militia wave at the opponent's line. They've taken decent positions. They've tied out a lot of the enemy infantry. They've used up a handful of arrows from the defenders. Now they can bring up these coastal skirmishers, and they can use them to soften up the defense, which is a pretty smart move. They need to be very careful, though, elsewhere. You know, they don't want to end up getting countercharged. But here we go. These javelins can start hammering down on this. You can see the javelins coming in. This is such a good defense, though, from the defenders. They're setting up. They're committing to where they need to. They're not over-committing anywhere they don't need to. So this is a pretty nice job right now. And these skirmishers need to continue to just fire away. I don't think this skirmish unit is going to be as effective just because they're firing, obviously, over the heads of their own men. There's no clean line of sight. But I imagine if they get the other unit inside, it'll be very, very effective. As the militia just get thrown back in, but poor militia. And Dormroth very much remind me of like the Bretonia of Warhammer. They really do. Kind of their heavy knights and their armored spear militia. That's their kind of their sword and board. And here you go. The javelins have been brought right up. This is going to be deadly. I want to see how many kills they can get up. So they've got 0 kills right now. They've actually used up 3 or 4 javelins, which is not good. Let's see how many kills they can rack up. Obviously, looking at the left-hand side. They've got a lot of ammunition. I think the main focus of this unit is going to be just killing them halberds. Getting the halberds down to half strength, to hardly any strength. This is going to allow the knights, when they finally arrive, to break through the battle line. You can quickly see, though, the forces are not going to be giving up. The defenders changing all of their archers onto killing these javelins and trying to find their mark down. 50 kills on these guys so far is not bad. You can see it's definitely very focused down onto these halberds. If they could wipe out a unit of halberds, that would be absolutely huge. The arrow fire isn't really doing too much. And they also have another unit. Oh, this unit's kind of dispatched around here. And here we go. The big boys are now arriving. You got some of the coastal sea watch now, ready to charge through the breach. Out of a frying pan and into the fire as the militia go once more into the breach. 2 quotes for a price of 1. We're also now getting the archers who actually run out of ammunition breached up on this wall, as well as more coastal sea watch. So yeah, definitely a very aggressive push now from Dalmroth. And we also have, I would say, a pretty advanced fire. Oh, the artillery, man. These guys need to be very, very careful, because if they find themselves, if they're not careful, they could quite easily find themselves being hit by that artillery. See if they're just going to quickly fall back again. No need to overcommit. They have plenty of infantry up here, still putting a lot of pressure onto the defenders. And it seems like they have actually got some of their higher tier macemen up here now. Basically just to reinforce and keep the pressure up. Yeah, it seems like Eriador, with the committing of their next line of attacking, have managed to secure this pretty handedly. They've also advanced forward some of their own halberds here as well. It's just such a cool unit. They've advanced forward this unit to help out, and I think with the support they'll be able to break away the heavy spear guard that are persisting in this gatehouse without too much issues. And obviously, as you can see, I mean, I don't know what these two are up to. They're just like not wanting to look at each other. We obviously have more infantry fighting hard on the walls. But yeah, I think the outer wall is now finally falling. It's taken about 20 minutes to take it, so it's not been an easy job, but once it does fall, obviously the attackers will be pushed back, and it'll be very interesting to see what the attackers do. Do they decide to commit more men, as they have plenty of reserves, right? They have a decent detachment right here of 6 infantry, some axes. Over on Herad's side, they have plenty of men here. Do they decide to fall back, defend these 3 choke points with the support of the archers? Or do they decide to kind of commit to defending this outer wall? Because the thing is as well, the outer wall could hold pretty nicely if they can get some more archers up here. But running out of ammunition is just, yeah, it's just pretty brutal on these archers. Maybe switching them out for a unit like this would be very beneficial for them. But as you can see, more men more brought up. We also have these crossbows as well. It's such a cool looking unit. Is this like a double formation? Do these crossbows shoot whilst the gatekeepers on the front hold? It's like a Three Kingdoms thing. If it is, that's really cool if they manage to get that in. So with the support of the javelins, I think that's going to make their life a lot easier. As you can see, the halberds are basically non-existent now. The javelins, I still have 1 or 2 volleys left, and I imagine they're going to form up and probably throw them pretty soon. There you go, javelin throw going in into the back. So that's such a nice position right there, hitting the defenders right here. So yeah, that's going to be doing a lot of damage. How many kills do they end up on now? So them javelins got 100 kills. That's not like crazy, but that's still really, really good. 111 kills, and they still have 84 men in their unit to help out elsewhere. Another javelin got 100 kills. And it's all on valuable targets. Price-wise, they've already paid for themselves, and now they can still act as an infantry unit. So really effective stuff. And you can actually see the bodies starting to pile up right now at this breach. The men from Rune are not giving up this wall without a fight. And you're even getting more reinforcements pushed up as well. The heavier axemen with their studded spiked helmets. They look like a biker gang. They're committed to wherever they are needed. And I mean, honestly, we might end up... Oh, that's a good archer volley right there. Oh, that's a lot of arrows. We might end up seeing the last kind of the reinforcements being pushed up, like the last wave. We do have some really good, obviously the halberds, the Coast Guard right here. Going to come in and do a lot of damage, and that's kind of why they're being held back for so long. It's obviously to take up a lot of this ammunition. Because the defenders are rinsing through their arrow fire pretty quickly, and I don't think they have a supply wagon anywhere. So I do need to be careful, especially as the walls, fall more and more, and as you can see, they are definitely starting to do that. This unit right here is literally about to go down. There's only, what, 18 of them left now in this unit. We have a supply barrel here, but that's about it. As that guy just gets cleared out, and there's no way for these archers to go. Oh, they can. Oh, they're going to escape. Nice. Yeah, get the hell out of there. Oh wow! I never noticed this. That's really cool. I never noticed this passage before. So this is a good way for the attackers, if they want to actually get around the back of this wall. Okay, that's really cool. Again, another awesome part of this map. That's really cool. Yeah, really good map design right there. There's just lots of areas to attack, which make it fun for the attackers, but there's also choke points everywhere, which makes it really good for defenders. Speaking of which, we're finally going to be seeing the first couple, proper breakthroughs on the ground. I'm surprised this isn't being more of a focal point, because it doesn't really look like there's been, this unit obviously will be pushed forward, but not massively. And these halberds are still trying to break through. These southern heavy spearmen are doing an amazing job of holding. They really, really are. We've got another unit of infantry being brought up. I think these guys, they look kind of like they're in loose formation. Maybe they are, obviously, just to take less fire from the towers. Because the thing is, they need to get rid of these towers ASAP. Because the longer they're left, the more damage they do. And just look at that, one direct hit from the ballista bolt. I mean, are any of them guys going to get up? Or did that literally kill? I mean, only 2 of them got up. That one shot killed 4 people. That is brutal. They need to get their asses forward and up on that wall ASAP, or just through the gate. If they can break through the gate, then again, that's really useful. These unit of spearmen trying to form up more of a defense again. And obviously, if they can get any archers up on that wall as well, that's kind of what we're looking for. We're getting some infantry brought across. I wonder where. As I said, I assume just trying to break. You could just literally go into marching column and just try and breach this round, and then another unit over to the gate. Because they honestly do need to make some progress soon, as they are being bogged down. We said, 20 minutes has passed and they're still struggling. Another siege tower is even being brought up to the fight. There we go. Yep, right there. That's what we're seeing. They have arrived. The dismounted knights of Darmroth have arrived. They are no longer messing around. This is the real deal right here. And I imagine they're not going to really find you. There's like 5 of these guys left up here. 4, 3, 2, 1, none. Yeah, now that these guys are up here, that's going to be very, very impressive. There's still ammunition to shoot them, but not a ton. And I imagine these guys are going to come down and, yeah, really start causing the pressure. Right there, like I said, we are having the infantry being brought up right now. And, yeah, these guys are going to come in and basically just collapse this flank. You can see them immediately charging towards the gatehouse. They're going to be getting countercharged by the archers. But, yeah, just breaking through here is so important. Opening up the gatehouse. Over on here as well, the numbers are just breaking down the defenders. And, yeah, you can see all of a sudden it's just crumbled. There are obviously still some defenders left, but yeah, not as many as they would like. The tower is very close to going down. And if this does go down, it's going to kill all of these serpent swordsmen up here. And probably some of the merchant's bodyguard as well. Yeah, the assault is in full-on push mode right now. Got some archers up here, though. As I said, these guys are just arriving up here, so the first couple of volleys will be coming out. And that's one of the things we highlighted at the beginning of the battle, because I think it's just going to do so much damage. Imagine like Pavese crossbows up here. Oh my god, this would be a sick map for 12-12 as well. If Cassius ever is watching this and ever wants to do a juicy battle on 12-12 on this map, because it's just such a great map. It really is huge. It's yeah, like this is definitely their best map to date. for sure. Really, really awesome stuff. There you go. Now that the defenders have been severely pushed back, the next line has been brought up. The cavalry's going to come in. Pretty nice charge. And this is exactly what the Lancers want to do. You know, these are all about that charge, then getting the hell out of there. Oh, that guy just got dragged off his horse and mace. I don't think I've ever seen that. We are using Return to Glory, which is a mod that adds in more animations. But I don't think I've ever seen that animation before of him literally dragging him off the horse and then hitting him over the head with a mace. That's amazing. That's really cool. And I've got... Oh, whoa, there's some big hits. That sound made me jump a little. Nice artillery strikes coming in. And also being hammered by archers. There we go. The gates have now gone down and killed everything around it because... Why would the game not work like that? Why would the game not work like that? I don't know if anyone could ever change that, but it's so stupid. Like, it literally just killed like 5 units here for no reason, literally no reason. But here we go. The archers have been brought up now. And as I said, the forces of Bree and Eriador have left back a lot of their archers. So these guys are now coming into the battle very fresh, and the defenders have had to fall back, giving up casualties, and doesn't have that much ammunition to kind of counterfire whatsoever. Same over on this side as well. They've been really reserved with their archers, and I think that's a pretty smart idea considering this is a very choke pointy map. You know, there's lots of ways to attack and push and stretch for defenders, but there are a lot of choke points, and I think keeping your archers is going to be a very good idea, because what that allows you to do is that allows you to, you know, when the defenders are completely spread out because of the size of the map, then it allows you to focus down like 6 of your archers on one of them points and just hammer through. And as we've said in the battle, once one breach starts to happen, the other ones kind of collapse and the defenders are forced back. So the Armoth are pushing forward more of them, and I think the Knights are, oh my god, they look so small in comparison to the wave of red from Harad and the Easterlings. And they have some arrow fire coming in to aid them. So obviously going to soften up a few of the defenders, but yeah, I mean, they're not going to cut their way through this. As good as they are, they're going to need support and more reinforcements, and I imagine more reinforcements are definitely on their way, as you can see, as the arrows fire off. The Heaven's Guard being pushed up as well. So we want to try and get these guys into combat because they will mince through their opponents. Oh, that's cool. There's some Nimrod Rangers. I don't know what these guys are, but I really like their blue capes. It's kind of like a dark blue. That's really cool. Obviously, this is like the Dunedain model, but like recolored. But yeah, it's really nice. And they probably have, yeah, kind of bluer equipment. That's a really nice unit. Submod never ceases to amaze me. And there we go. Archers are now being brought up onto the wall. I mean, if they can, there's so many bodies scattered. I mean, look at this. Look at the city itself. It is in ruins. As the defenders push up, I mean, what an it's just like stuff like this is why I do this job. Like battles like this, where it's such cool modding stuff that's happened, such a large 21,000 units. Like, it's just absolutely amazing. As more and more of the attackers kind of just storm the walls now. Defenders are getting hit by missile fire. We also have this small squadron of halberdiers ready to push forward and I guess make a dent in the enemy shield wall as the macemen advance. I imagine these macemen would be doing pretty good though against the heavily armored southern spearmen. Obviously equipped with that armor-piercing weapon, we're doing a great bonus to them. And we'll have to keep an eye. Are they committing men out here? They are also. So they're attacking, as I said, like they're attacking from every single position, which is going to be really effective. They're getting archers up here to attack all the breaches. The attackers are throwing forward. Yeah, they're literally attacking every single breach, which, as I said, I think is just so important. Because one of these breaches will buckle at some point. More of the attackers are being brought up as well. Onto the walls. Ready to push forward. The archers are not giving them a moment's peace. We do have some of the Eastling Nordic archers firing up on the Heaven's Guard, and obviously, you know, every one of these men with the great sword that they have that goes down is just absolutely huge. They've only lost 2 men so far, but yeah, this is the unit you want to save all your arrows for. And they have a handful of them all shooting, probably 3 or 4 archers shooting at them soon. So getting them off the walls ASAP is going to be very important. Also, funnily enough as well, that they haven't really even broken through this position yet. The Eastlings are holding very nicely down at this eastern gatehouse. This standard unit of Easterlings is just a very effective unit. Yeah, I mean, both these positions are more than held. And because they're in shield wall as well, they kind of have a decent missile block. We are, though, however, getting more and more men. So as the battle is going on, we are getting more of the elite units now being brought up. So now we've got the Prince's Coast Guard, the Halberd unit, which again will break through this position quite nicely. The Heavens Guard now being brought down under heavy missile fire, but advancing. Man, if only you could go through like that breach right there, that'd be so nice if you could just snuck your way down there, but it doesn't look like you can. So this unit is taking heavy casualties. It just needs to get itself into combat. And into combat it goes, into a tight shield wall. And they're still going to get shot, I think, in the back, because realistically, if they kill some of their own men, it's completely worth it to kill these Heavens Guards. So the defenders are doing a great job at trying to nullify these units. Unfortunately, this unit's kind of got into combat a bit more effectively, but still is being hammered by archer fire. So we'll have to see how they do manage to do it. I'm sure they'll be able to do a decent job there.
Enemy units have rallied and returned to the battle.
Oh, and all these archers. Okay, this is deadly. Area Door have made great progress now. They've got 4 units of archers into the settlement. They've got their general's crossbow unit right here. They've set ablaze to some of the settlements here as well. Which again just looks so goddamn cool. I love it. Archer fire coming in every single position. The archers. Yeah, this is where the kills for the attackers are going to start being racked up. Now they've taken the walls, they can use them against the defenders. And I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see, not like right away, but in the next couple of minutes, a full-on retreat as the numbers start to dip for the defenders. And then we are going to start seeing their men come back and probably end up having these archers kind of act as a rear guard to allow the infantry to fall up. I say that though, but the Easterlings are still committed to holding this gatehouse. They've pushed forward another unit of their halberds, I guess, to kind of try and maybe counter the defense's halberds for Darmroth. And they're going to go into this battle in full-on, like, kind of all-or-nothing mode, it seems. Which is just very risky, because as you can see, these Heaven Guard are cutting through the defenders. Only 68 of them left in this unit. And 98 in the other one. Luckily, this unit has been taken down quite nicely, but look at the kills. You know, it's managed to bring down this unit of footmen down to half, which is a very, very effective job. And they obviously absorbed a lot of arrows as well. The artillery is coming in, both firing it perfect hits off onto the foot guard. Over on this right-hand side, we are having some of the lighter infantry just kind of have a little bit of a duel. And we're also absorbing some of the arrow fire as well. I imagine this arrow fire would be better spent on this unit, but they're probably out of range right now. So just clearing through some of the chaff, some of the crappier units is probably not a bad plan. And then the archers can focus on something else. They're probably just not in range right now. Swordsman over here. Yeah, okay. So for a second, I didn't quite see these units. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they can get an easy charge through. But the defenders are still holding every single position. And doing a pretty decent job of it, you know? I mean, honestly, as you can see, there's like one last detachment of Seaward Swordsmen, which can be brought up. Obviously, the heavier knights. And a breakdown here, like committing these 4 units all up here and just going for one last final push, could be really, really deadly. Because I think this is a position that could quite easily break. This has had a lot of men committed to it. Probably not where you're going to break through. You just need to hold them back here. But here, I think here is going to be very much the way you go. Because they're even going to break through here, or you're going to break through in one of these positions. But I say that there are more footmen being committed. This reserved line from the defenders is really, really nice. You got burning houses to the left. The citadel to the right. And more men are being committed to this fight. There's no way like up here. No, there's no like secret passage here. No. Just making sure. So we'll have to see what Dynamov decide to do with their last couple men. They bring up some archers now, but yeah, it's really what they do with these last like 6-7 units of infantry. And they also do have some knights as well. So just bring a unit of cavalry, because if they can make a breach, that unit of cavalry will be very effective. And they could always just dismount it if they don't need any more. But yeah, it's a pretty brutal fight. And the thing is as well, they didn't really have a great target for a lot of their missiles. You know, you have a handful of archers hitting axemen and other units which are a little bit more vulnerable. But yeah, right now they're just kind of zoning off a lot of these axe bearers, which again look great. I love like this Mamluk armor, it's really cool. So they're just kind of zoning off a lot of these kind of elite axe infantry. And as I said, I think they're going to probably decide to fall back soon. Just with the amount of arrow fire coming in. Oh, we got some of the elite cavalry as well, the Bane of the Steppes. They're just taking every bit of missile fire, which is really important, because if this cavalry unit can break through, oh my god, they're going to be onto them archers in a heartbeat. And yeah, it's going to be enough to scare them back. And I mean, they're down to 20 horses now, probably even less. Yeah, this unit of cavalry has just been annihilated, been the main focus point of all the arrows, and there's nowhere for them to really go right now. Yeah, there's like 6 units of archers here, just all focusing down this one unit of cavalry. And now they know they're dead, so they're just going to charge in one last time. Maybe they can pull through and get onto these archers, but most likely not. As you can see, the archer line up there is pretty brutal. Have they managed to assault here? So they've assaulted here. Actually, the defenders charged out here to try and break this unit of bodyguard. And over on this side as well, they've also broken up. And now it's just some arrow fire. Honestly, wouldn't be a bad idea for these guys to try and take that wall back, maybe? But again, this unit's almost out of ammunition. They probably can just sit back here. They're in shield wall. Probably lose like another 20 men, but it's worth it just to have this unit of swords stay alive and keep sturdy on the battlefield. Oh, some vassal haranguement here. Okay. So the weak units, but then you have the heavier swordsmen backing them up. I mean, this unit will be just cleared out. It's not a bad unit to commit to doing a job like this. It's a shame as well that this unit doesn't have any ammo left, because again, they could just do so much damage if they had a supply wagon back here. As they cheer, scaring off the defenders. Is there any infantry left over here? I mean, we have a unit here. Yes, I was going to say, like, this unit could open up a breach pretty quickly, and there's only really, like, a ton of archers left the area door now. They obviously have a unit of reserve there. They have this here. But after that, you know, that's kind of about it. How well is this unit of halberds doing as well? Because I imagine they'll be doing pretty decently. Only 24 kills on the halberds. Wow, was not expecting that. Was not expecting that at all. Yeah, the attackers, I mean, the Eastling front is just holding. There's like, obviously some weak points here and here, but I think they need to go in for one big push. Like, use the last of this ammo, which I don't really have much left of, and just go. Obviously, this is going to be huge in the battle, because this opens up the path. Not that there's really that much I can come over and help, but this opens up, obviously, the attack here, opens up the rear of this position. But then again, I feel like the defenders could just commit these units of axes to hold this position. So yeah, the attackers are committing a lot, but I feel like they're running out of steam with infantry. I kind of thought it'd be the other way around, and now their archers are running a little bit low as well. We could quite quickly see this battle turn on its head, and the defenders start going on the counter-offensive as the arrows just fly over the heads of these southern heavy spearmen. Just volley after volley. Oh my god. I mean, it does start to rack up the kills, you know. In Attila, the way the archer system works is like, units initially don't take any casualties, and then they take 1 or 2, and then they take 5 or 6, and then they just get absolutely melted by arrows. The infantry going in for another charge there. I think they fell back a little bit, and they decided to push forward once again. Oh, the cavalry. When these archers find a lightly armored target like this, you just see the men going down, and immediately the defenders are like, oh crap, let's get this horse out of here. Just approaching the position they just shouldn't be. And yeah, as you can see, these axemen, these macemen have dealt pretty nicely with the southern vassal swordsmen.
The enemy has obliterated an entire unit.
It'd be great to be able to make like another breach during this, you know. Being able to break down this wall or something just to get more men through would be so nice. And yeah, even there, as I said, the Axemen have been brought up now, and that's really defended and saved this position very nicely. I'm actually very on the offensive right now. We have 1 unit of Merchant's Bodyguards still left remaining. How heavily armored are these archers? Yeah, they're pretty averagely. They have like some okay padded armor, some chainmail under there, so they're not bad armor-wise, but I imagine they're going to get killed by like heavier axemen pretty quickly. But they need to be men to the breaches, so they're going to be getting committed, charged in for honor and glory, and basically acted as a shield wall for the rest of their men. There's still a pretty healthy unit of crossbows here, though, gatekeepers. I'm surprised we're not seeing them use more of their ammunition. Obviously, that crossbow is going to be a very deadly unit. I imagine now they're probably going to be firing up them axemen back there, if firing at all. And there you have it, broken there. That's pretty nice. They can keep on pushing. Another artillery shot comes in, though. Or just missing their mark, I think, there. So, the defenders, I mean, this is such a back and forth battle. The defenders are clinging on to each of these breach points by the skin of their teeth. They also have, like, rear defenses as well that they could bring up if they really want to commit to this. But I think it's better to have these rear defenses than to have to commit everything. But, like, honestly, this has been the hardest position to take. It really has. And finally, we're now getting some archers up here to help out and try and push forward. And the last of Darmroth's heavier infantry are now being thrown forward. There's not really any missiles to punish the attackers here at all. They've already lost kind of a lot of their ammunition. So here we go, the big boys going in. There's still 4 units of these big boys left, the dismounted knights, but this is it. This is Darmroth's final push, really. And they need to be successful, because Eriador, you know, if the Eastlings can support Harad in this defense, Eriador just won't have anything left. They're running low as is. Only 3 units of archers. The swordsmen have now moved up onto the walls to breach them. And as you can see, the attackers are bringing back this unit of archers to kind of stop this from killing the archers with ammo left. More archers are being committed here, so I think Eriador are definitely on their last legs. But all it takes is like one big push through. You know, it's not like the defenders have a ton of men left. Taking a look at the casualties, actually, I say like the defenders have 4,000 men. The attackers just under 3. But do keep in mind, the attackers would have spent 25% more gold than the defenders. So, you know, their numbers will be a higher quality, maybe less though, whereas the defenders who have spent a lot less money, you know, 1/4 of the money less, they would have spent more money on just getting numbers up. And as you can see, they didn't start with that few less, you know.
Nothing remains of this unit now.
800 men less, 1,800 men less isn't that much. Or even less, sorry, 1,400. Apparently I can't do maths. There we go, more men being brought up. I mean, as you can see, the attackers have broken through here. The swordsmen doing a pretty good job. Cavalry coming in, though, but immediately being focused down. The charge of the light brigade right here. And the problem is, if they make their way onto the crossbows back here, the crossbows can just volley a fire off there. Or just kill them, because they have swords and shields, so they're just as deadly. That was definitely very suicidal right there. But I respect it nonetheless. And I mean, they've managed to break them. Obviously, this is going to be just getting slaughtered now. And there are crossbows hitting as well. But this is a good unit to waste the ammunition on the Onaga crew, which are basically useless at this point. Swordsman ready to hold. And a bit of friendly fire coming in. This is really bad for the attackers, because these men would not die to anything here, but they're dying to arrow fire. So they need to be very careful of, because this is a very good unit they do not want to give up. But, you know, that unit should break through, and then, but I mean, then what? Where did they go? They've broken through here and here. They've, like, managed to win here quite nicely. I don't know, I feel like the timer is running out for the attackers to make a big move, if I'm honest. I feel like they definitely have some positions they could exploit, but it's just committing the good enough quality men to break through. Because what do we have left in reserve here? So we have a unit of archers, which is full ammunition, which is good. Another unit of standard infantry. Another unit of standard heavy spears. went up here. But I mean, like, this isn't a lot. Like, yeah, just some normal swordsmen and stuff. So, like, there's a decent amount in reserve. But, you know, this is only like 7 units of infantry. You know, 7 units of infantry can die very quickly to missile fire, crossbow fire especially. You know, so even though the attackers don't have a ton left, but, you know, if they can just get their heavier knights in here, maybe they'll stand a chance. But again, the timer is ticking down. It is running out bit by bit. The archers, however, are being brought forward a little bit to basically just act. Obviously, you want to stay out of range of these archers. There's a couple good shots off there. And probably can go into a little bit further. Obviously, they're going to leave themselves very vulnerable to any missile fire coming in from the other archers. But yeah, every shot they get off, this is a very cheap unit. So every unit right here they take down is going to be very useful. As the axes turn up, I imagine these axes are going to be like running down the German MG42 position right now, though. Yeah, there's so much arrow fire, and also the crossbows. That's just like why this area door unit is so good. Is because they obviously, you know, take down and basically disrupt the enemy charge. Both sides clash as the cavalry get brought up, and that's not a bad. Is there a gap? No, there's no gap here for them to exploit. They have broken through this inner layer right here, which is nice. So they've now finally connected the beaches of Omaha. God, I'm full of the references today. They've connected the beaches of Omaha with Sword. I think Sword was next to Omaha. Maybe I'm mistaken, but was it like... I don't even... God, I'm going to embarrass myself now. I should stop whilst I'm ahead. But they've now connected the beaches, which they can obviously use to coordinate their assaults. But over on this side, look at that. This has been broken. The defenses on the far left have basically collapsed. And now the forces of Eriador are going to find themselves enveloped for the first time. You know, they're supposed to be the ones enveloping, but it seems like the defenders just have them numbers. I mean, it is just some archers, so it's not like it's going to be, you know, heavy shock infantry. But you know, these guys stopping arrows from firing are pretty useful. They're also absorbing arrows as well. Yeah, who cares? This unit has done its job. So it's okay if it kind of does end up dying. But this unit's swords, when it gets down here, is going to basically trap the defenders in. I wonder where this cavalry is going as well. Darmroth horses making their way around. Probably going to try and breach just with their like heavier shock infantry. Got the knights advancing forward, cheering on the cavalry. Forward, boys, into the city. Imagine they can try and break this position. As that one Darmroth knight goes down. Yeah, I mean, they are thin, right? There's not many of them. There's kind of a spaghetti line. So that's cavalry is going to be able to push forward now and immediately get onto these archers. The elite archers back here. And there's not really anything to go. There's a unit of swords in its way, but this cavalry will be able to do a lot of damage and basically clear up this entire assault, allowing these swords to come in. Whoa, whose general died? Oh, the unit. Wow, this unit of axes have done amazing. You can't really see it because it's so dark, but yeah, this unit of axes have done so good against the gatekeepers. I mean, as you can see, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what they're designed for. Lots of units going down. I think Eriador just don't have that much left. I think the defenders just have this one in the bag. It's a brutal map to try and keep things at bay. You know, even though they have broken through, you know, this position has just been a stone wall. I mean, it's slowly starting to filter down now, but yeah, this position has just been unbreakable. I don't really know what else they could have done. Maybe they could have got their javelins up here and just fired down, but even still, you know, that's just leaves them vulnerable to missile fire. They just committed a lot to this position. It was very hard to break through. The cavalry going off for one last charge into the rear of these guys, but I just don't think it's going to matter. There's still 7.5 minutes left of this battle, so they'll still definitely put up a good fight, but yeah, I think the die has been cast on this one. There's only 1,400 man difference, though. Who knows? Who knows? And oh yeah, we have actually seen the men have been called out. They've rid out once more to meet the defenders. Yeah, they are committing their last couple men. And as I said, these knights are very, very good. So maybe they can just go berserk and just break through. Because probably, the thing is as well, the numbers, like for the defenders, are probably just their archers as well. There's probably very similar infantry on both sides. It's just the archers are really padding them numbers for the defenders. See the Eastlings in the distance, just reforming. We need more men over there, quickly!
We have claimed the gates. Forward.
They've claimed the gates. What ones? These ones? Oh, these ones over here. Didn't they already have the gates? I guess not. We also have the Darmroth General coming in. Both the generals from Harad and Darmroth are now here. Are we going to see a clash? I mean, I imagine the Knights of Darmroth are going to quite easily win this, but maybe not. They didn't get a good charge off, so that's maybe going to benefit these step riders who are obviously master horses as well. And this is our first cavalry engagement, like proper cavalry engagement of the battle. I mean, killing the enemy general right now would be absolutely huge and needed for Darmroth. If the general loses here, it's over for them, that is for sure.
This is a shameful display.
And at this point, I mean, yeah, as you can see, the Darmroth cavalry, I think, is winning this. There's actually a lot fewer of them, though. There's 20 more of the Harad cavalry, though. And oh, yeah, look at that. Pretty nice push up here by the swordsman. But the numbers are going very low. Only 800 attackers now left remaining. And I think that is it, yeah, especially once this breaks now as well. They can now commit their men. These 2 units of infantry, yeah, there's a lot of reserves. And Harad have brought up the last of their reserves, besides these 3 units, which are just sitting back. But yeah, you think how, like, crazy this battle has been, like, how big the numbers were. And now, like, on this side with Eriador, their numbers are very few and far between. The last couple units of infantry coming in to support their general. And over on this side, it's still, like, just so few pockets left remaining. But we'll stick around and we'll watch the last stand of the general, and then I'll probably skip to the end as it will be over. We'll watch the fighting of the general, see if he can put up one last famous stand. But yeah, definitely have to give mad props to the map maker and anyone else who helped him on the map as well. Because this is made for one hell of a battle and it's a great, great map. And there's also a handful of other maps as well. I know Empty has made a remake of Minas Tirith, like kind of just a more workable one. And he also made Minas Morgul, which is pretty cool as well. So there's lots of cool custom maps. There's also a really cool new Gladiator Elf mod. Someone's like redone it, which I need to show off as well. So expect that probably next week. So there's a bunch of really, really cool stuff we can do, and we probably will do. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. It's always important to say that as well, because you might think it's kind of silly, but the amount of people who subscribe when you, like, just remind them, like, oh yeah, you can do this. I do upload every single day, so if you enjoyed this battle, make sure you do hit that subscription button. There we go. Yeah, there you go. The enemy general has been broken, and that is going to be it. We have some infantry really being brought up, the last couple of reserves, that maybe these guys just needed to be committed earlier to the fight rather than now, because at this point the battle is over, but maybe they could have had more of an impact if they tried to, like, break through this a little bit sooner. Because the defenders definitely did commit a lot of men here. Like, this was a position they just did not want to lose. And it was pretty hard for the attackers to breach through, but maybe they could have if they would have committed heavier infantry once them halberds had gone down. Maybe it was the time to advance forward their elites and just try and breach through this position. Try and draw more attention away from other sides. But unfortunately, we only have a handful of men left. Cavalry charges coming in just to finish this one off. once and for all. So let's just skip ahead toward, I mean, actually, they actually managed to kill the Harad general. That's hilarious. But let's just skip towards the end. Battle's over. These last brave men are going to falter and break any second now. And there we have it. A Pyrrhic victory for the defenders. And yeah, what a hell of a battle that was. So let's take a look at the final losses, kills, and see if any units really did some crazy stuff. We'll start off with the forces from the Easterlings. And I think the majority of their kills just kind of spread across the board. Their infantry doing a very nice job just holding that line. Halberds some good kills, and their archers. Over on Harad's side of things, you can see, wow, I can't believe this unit of 7. Oh, these are, okay, they just don't have a proper unit card, like a proper unit card. For a second, I thought these were just the one-handed, no shield guys. I thought they were these guys. I thought they were here somewhere. Basically, the guys without the shield. But yeah, 400 kills. Pretty disgusting. 400 kills on these guys as well. The forces of Harad really racked up a lot of kills. Over on the other side, we do have Eriador, who deployed 6,000 men as well. My God. And lost 5,000. They lost the most and they deployed the most. And again, their archers doing pretty decent. And also the gatekeepers doing not bad. And some of their swords doing a very nice job as well. Then finally over on Darmroth, their archers, once again, cavalry 200 kills. Considering how late this unit came to the battle, that's not bad whatsoever. The Heaven Guard tried to get stuck in, but just could not find their mark. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Drop a like and a comment down below if you did. And I'll see you guys in the next one.